Blurry. Hello, everybody. Me again. It's getting dark where I'm at right now. So I'm at Sackets Harbor, New York. It's up here where I'm working. Northern, western part of the state, I guess. It's at the east end of, and sits right on the banks of Lake Ontario. And so we're right at sunset here. It's 4:28 p.m. and I'm at again, Madison Cemetery. This is it's a military cemetery, but it was. Hold on one second. I'm still here to see this. See what I'm looking at here. Sackets Harbor Military Cemetery. That's one name for this cemetery. It's been under different names over the years. So, what was the other name? Sackets Harbor. Anyway, it was a military barracks cemetery for a post that was here. And it was established in 1909. So it's got about 300 or so people that are buried here, and many of them are War of 1812 soldiers, sailors that fought here during the War of 1812. When this base was established shortly after the war, but some of the men that are here fought in that war and were stationed at those barracks that are here at Sackets Harbor. In fact, in 1812, most of America's Army and Navy, a third, well, I'll say most, so it was a third of the United States Army and Navy were based here in this little village that sits on Lake Ontario. Anyway, so I was going to play taps because it is raining here. It's cold. I'm trying to figure out why that's blurry. Temperature's dropping. This rain is supposed to transition over to snow sometime here in the next hour or two. Right now it's just cold rain, and I'm trying to stay out of it under this tree over my head right here. Hold on a minute. There we go. I had water on that. Had to get the water off. All right, I don't want to wait too late. It's getting later. There are homes that are people living right around this cemetery, so I want to go ahead and get this done. Get it over with, and if we want to talk a little more, we can talk. All right. One thing I do want to say before I play, there is a gentleman here named General Zebulon Pike. Right there, we see the cannon. That's where he's buried. Zebulon Pike. He was killed during the War of 1812 when the U.S. Army invaded what is today Toronto, but then it was York, Canada. They crossed Lake Ontario and invaded York, Canada, made raids into Canada to try to force Britain to the table, because the real war was with Britain, not with Canada. But they were trying to hurt British interests in Canada, and thought that would be a way to force them to the table, because they were really hurting the United States economy at the time by really squashing their trade interests overseas with France and with Britain. And so it had such a detrimental impact that the United States got involved in the war. And so that Zebulon Pike over here, he was in that war. He died in that war, was killed over there in an explosion in York, Canada, where the British unannounced blew up an ammunition depot that he was at, and he was killed in that explosion. But he is also the man that Pikes Peak is named after. Zebulon Pike. He discovered Pikes Peak, tried to climb it, reached the peak, but he was unsuccessful. But they did name the Pikes Peak is named after him. So that's in Colorado. So he was also an explorer before he was involved in this war, and explored into parts of the western United States. So pretty cool. There's some other stories here I'll tell you about here shortly. I'm gonna go ahead and play this. All right, here we go. Taps at Sackets Harbor in Sackets Harbor, New York. Gotta find a place to set this. How about right here? I gotta find a good spot. There we go. Oh, the bugle's cold. Readjust the camera like it was crooked. Doing everything backwards today. Hold on a minute. Man, it's getting cold out here. Fingers are hurting. Got some repair work I got to do on this bugle. Before I play it, the next time I play, wherever that is.